Good day, everyone. I am Christopher Almercozo, and I will be discussing the National Competency-Based Teacher Standards, or NCBTS. What is NCBTS? The NCBTS is an integrated theoretical framework that defines the different dimensions of effective teaching, where effective teaching means being able to help all types of students learn the different learning curriculum. Yung NCBTS po is like a rule book or a guide for teachers to become more effective in teaching. Why do we need the NCBTS? The NCBTS provides a single framework that shall define effective teaching in all aspects of a teacher's professional life and in all phases of teacher development. So we need the NCBTS because it gives everyone, teachers, students, and schools, a single set of rules or a framework to understand what good teaching is. This framework applies to all parts of a teacher's work, from how they plan lessons to how they manage a classroom. It also helps teachers improve over time, no matter where they are in their career. Next, who should use the NCBTS? Anyone who is interested in improving teaching practices should refer to the NCBTS. We have the teacher education institutions to design and implement effective pre-service teachers education curricula. Yung PRC, Professional Regulations Commission, in designing the licensure exam for teachers. Organizations and agencies, INSET, in developing interventions. Award-giving bodies, in defining their criteria for outstanding teachers. DepEd, the Department of Education, uses it for hiring and promotion. And lastly, the teachers in all public, elementary, and high school all over the country who wish to improve the professional development of degrees. How should teacher use the NCBTS? Teachers can use the NCBTS in many ways. First, as a guide to reflect on their current teaching practices. So teachers can use the NCBTS to think about how they teach. Reflection means they ask themselves, am I doing a good job? Natututo ba ang mga estudyante ko? So what can I do better? So this helps them identify what's working and what's need to improve. Next, as a framework for creating new teaching practices. So teachers can use the NCBTS to come up with new ways to teach. So nakakatulong ito para maging creative. Maging creative sila at mag-try ng different strategies para ang mga estudyante ay matuto. As a guidepost for planning for professional development goals, so teachers set goals to improve themselves, of course. The NCBTS helps teachers decide kung ano yung skill na kailangan pang i-improve to become better teachers. As a common language for discussing teaching practices with other teachers. So the NCBTS gives teachers a common language to discuss their teaching. So meaning, so they can share ideas, so solve problems together and learn from each other. Is the NCBTS new? How similar or different is it? So specific items under the NCBTS are not new because many ideas about good teachings have been practiced for some time now. But what is new about NCBTS is that these ideas have been integrated into a singular integrated framework. So the ideas aren't new But this combines all the best teaching practices into one easy to understand guide. Okay, so what does competency-based mean? So the standards or criteria for characterizing good teachings are defined in terms of what the teacher is competent to do. So can they help students understand? Those practices that help students learn better. So can they adjust their teaching for different kinds of learners? So competency based means focusing on what teacher can do rather than their grades or personality. So a good teacher is someone who can actually teach effectively, not just someone who has a degree or a high test scores. So, ganon. So, yun. So, next. So, how can NCBTS help teachers improve their teachings? So, first we have the domain. So, a distinctive sphere of the teaching, learning, and well-defined arena for demonstrating positive teacher practices. So, yung domain, ito yung big areas of teaching, like tinutulungan mo yung students na matuto or managing a classroom. Our next is strand, specific dimensions of positive teacher practices under the broad conceptual domain. So, yung strands, ito yung parts lang ng domain. And lastly, the indicators. Concrete, observable, and measurable teacher behaviors, actions, habits, routines, and practices known to create, facilitate, and support enhanced student learning. So, ito yung mga specific actions na gagawin ng guro, like planning lessons or answering questions. So, how does the NCBTS define good teaching? So, these were characterized in terms of the following dimensions. First, the nature or quality. So, this is about how good or effective that teacher's work is. So, are they clear when they teach? Do their lessons make sense to the students? And next, we have the frequency, consistency, and appropriateness. So, it's not enough to do something good once. So, good teachers do their best often in the right way and at the right time. And lastly, self-awareness. So, a good teachers knows their strengths and weaknesses. They keep improving in and making sure they do the best for their students. So, yan. So, NCBTS has 7 domains, which allows teachers to self-assess their own performance to function more effectively as facilitators of learning. So, let's get to know these 7 domains. So, first, we have the social regard for learning. So, the SRFL domain focuses on the ideal that teachers serve as a positive and powerful role models of the value in the pursuit of the different efforts to learn. The teacher's action, statements, and different types of social interactions with students exemplify this ideal. So, dito meron tayong strands of desired teaching performance and the performance indicator. So, number 1 is act as a positive role model for students. And yung indicators niya, so the teacher is implements school policies and procedures, demonstrates punctuality, maintains appropriate appearance, and is careful about the effect of one's behavior on students. So, sa domain number 1, yung social regard for learning. So, teachers should be good role models for students. Okay? So this means their actions, words, and behavior show that learning is important. If a teacher is always on time, follows school rules, and respect others, na-encourage din niya yung mga students to do the same. So, yon. So, next, the The domain number 2 is learning environment. So this domain focuses on the importance of providing a social, psychological, and physical environment within which all students, regardless of their individual differences in learning, can engage in the different learning activities and work towards attaining high standards of learning. So yung strands of this teaching performance is the teacher creates an environment that promotes fairness. So, sa indicators naman, maintains a learning environment of courtesy and respect for different learners' abilities, cultures, and gender. So, provides gender-fair opportunities for learning and recognizes that every learner has strengths. So, sa 2 is the teacher makes the classroom environment safe and conducive to learning. So, maintains a safe, clean, and orderly classroom free from distractions and arrange challenging activities given the physical environment. Sa number 3 naman, the teacher communicates higher learning expectations to each learner. So, the indicators is the teachers uses individual and cooperative learning activities to improve capacities of learners for higher learning. Encourage learners to ask questions and provide learners with a variety of learning experience. And lastly, yung number 4 is the teacher establishes and maintain consistent standards of learners' behavior. So, handles behavior problems quickly and with due respect to children's rights. Gives time feedback to reinforce appropriate to learners' behavior, guides individual learner requiring development of appropriate social and learning behavior, and communicates school policies and procedures for classroom behavior and see to it that they are followed. So, sa number 2, domain number 2, yung learning environment, no? So, teachers need to make the classroom a safe, respectful, and fun place for everyone. So, this includes physical things like malinis na classroom, yung enough yung chairs para sa mga students, but also yung emotional support, like making sure that everyone feels welcome and included. So, dun yung learning environment. Okay po. So, sa domain number 3,